the difference between men and women is something that we can chuckle at. But what is the one thing about women that you just don't get?
You know what it is? Here's a silly thing that happened recently, and I love this. Have you ever woken up having had a dream about your partner where he's irritated you, and then you wake up and now you're irritated with him for what he did to you in your imaginary world, and then you hold a grudge against him for the rest of the day for something that he didn't even know? That is an incredible skill to have. That's the one thing. And the other thing is when ladies get angry with you in potential of what could happen. We were driving to the airport once, and my lady said to me, you did bring your passport? I said, yeah. I said, because I saw it was lying on the table. I said, no, but I did bring it. Yeah, but she said, but if you had left it there, it would have been gone, and then we would have been late. I said, I know, but I didn't. How can you be getting irritated with me for something I didn't do? So sometimes just in potential, we get into trouble, and that is fun and games.
You have to be careful.
You've got to be very careful.
But haven't you ever woken up from a dream about your lady who did something to irritate you, and you're just irritated because you know it happened in your dream? And no. Okay,
I mean, I would wake up, but I would go, oh, wait, that's a dream.
That was imaginary.
That's imaginary.
Okay, fair enough. Point taken.
Right.
I don't know if anything's going to change, but...
No, nothing's going to change. No, that's the point as well about the show. It's not saying anyone must change. I guess, really, essentially all we need to do is acknowledge that people work very differently. This show was fascinating in that when Rob Becker wrote it, he didn't just write about his experiences. He actually went and did some studying on it. He went to kind of talk to sociologists and psychologists and historians, and he tried to work out. And so, for example, there's a fascinating fact that over the years, because of all the information that women had... that noise, sorry about that. Firm table, just not in this regard. That when, for example, women were gathering so much information as gatherers, back in the day, over those years they developed more synapses, more connections between their left and right hand sides of the brain, which is why today physiologically women are capable of doing multitasking, of doing more things at the same time, whereas men over the years instinctively had to kind of focus in on hunting, on focusing on one thing, and that behavior pattern has kind of developed and stayed with us in many ways. It doesn't mean you can't learn to multitask, right. It doesn't mean you can't learn to focus on one thing, but essentially your instinctive behavior is to do that.
So science, backed by science.
Do you know what I mean? Backed by science, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to know your top 3 differences between men and women that you think will just never get solved. We're never going to see eye to eye on these things.
Ladies don't understand that, for example, when men are tired, they just want to narrow their focus. And so that often means like a television or a newspaper, or even locking in on air. Just kind of staring blankly, and you kind of think, what's happened? You know, you think we're upset. We're not. Nothing is happening. We are literally
what's happening?
Recharging.
Actually nothing.
Nothing. The hard drive has just gone into buffer zone. Nothing is happening. You don't have to panic. It's not that we're angry. We're just not doing anything. So, and I think ladies feel the need that, if that's not happening, then something's going on.
That definitely is a thing.
And then the other, for example, for a lady, if we've gone out, and is that thing of gathering information and details. Women want that information. They want to share the information. They want to share information they've gathered, and then they want to get the information you've gathered. And when you say to your partner, what did you guys talk about? And they say nothing, and then you get irritated. You can't understand that nothing is the way we men bond. We just hang out. We don't have to talk.
What do you do?
We grunt and grow. We make noises. We're primitive. Yeah. Whew. Hey, that's enough for us sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. That is enough.
Okay.
And then let's think, what would be another good example?
Pretty much so far, you're just a very simple...
We're simple people. We are simple people for the most part. We don't you think, though, that we kind of make our relationships more complicated?
Yes.
Than perhaps they need to be?
Yes.
And I think in the modern day, with men being slightly more, if you will, in touch with their feminine side, and there's a lot of fusion that's happened in the modern world. So men are not just men are kind of more in touch with their emotions. Women are more empowered and more focused and more business driven, which is all great. So we've come a bit closer. But because of that, we've also made this quite complicated for each other. So we overthink things. So we think, well, if she said that and he didn't understand that, and maybe she did think that I did not know what she didn't want in the first place. Meanwhile, you're also not having that at the moment. So I think this happens a lot. And I think one of the strengths of the show is to remind us of the simplicity of a relationship. Companionship, love, and ultimately just being there for each other, but in a simple way, and understanding base needs. She wants that, he wants that. Can we go, one of the phrases in the show is, can you go and visit the other person's world and be there for a while, spend some energy in that world without judgment? Which sounds easy, but as we know, that's quite complicated.
Yeah. Well, on that note, can you let us know how people can come and see you at Defending the Caveman?
Well, we are currently on at Theatre in the Bay in Camps Bay for the next 2 weeks, so that's till the 31st of May. You can book at CompuTicket or at the theatre, and then there's a couple of days off, and then I'm straight off to Joburg, to Monte Casino. We're there for 5 weeks, so that is from the 3rd of June right to the 6th of July. From Wednesdays to Sundays, and again, bookings through CompuTicket or at Monte Casino.
Oh, thank you for coming in. I look forward to seeing you be the
I
caveman.
look forward to seeing you in the theatre. Bring your couch. We'll make it really comfortable.
Awesome.